Hey everyone, Jim here from Also Spurs, and a very happy Saturday to you all. Just going to give you a quick update on where we are with transfers. I know things are frustrating at the moment. We'd like things to have been done sooner, but they aren't. So we're going to just deal with it and go through what's coming up. Remember, some of Tottenham's best transfers in recent history have come at the last minute. We had Dejan Kulusevski, Rodrigo Bentancur, Rafael van der Vaart, and I believe Pedro Porro were all deadline day transfers. So we do like to leave it late. Well, us fans certainly don't like to see us leave it late, but we do, as a club, like to leave it late, and us fans have unfortunately become accustomed to that. But it is what it is. So let's go into the links and who we need. And there's two main positions Spurs are on a hunt for here. It's a centre-back and a wide forward who can also deputise up front. So let's start, shall we? Mathys Tel is the first one. This is a deal which is, 90% dead, really. What's happened is we entered negotiations with Bayern Munich and we made it clear that we wanted to take on the player as a permanent transfer. It fits the young player mould because he's 19 years old. He's an excellent player. He's the dribbly winger criteria, but he can also score, and he's got a fantastic cross at times. He's also not shy of pressing, so he fits a lot of what Ange is looking for in these players. But the issue was the player is determined to fight for his spot in Bayern Munich, according to renowned journalists and the more reliable sources, and we only want a permanent transfer. So we want either an obligation to buy, an option to buy, or buy him up front. It was made a little bit easier for us than other clubs because Bayern Munich owe us a lot of money for Harry Kane. I think they owe us over 50 million, and we were able to leverage some of that to offset the fee for the player by cancelling some of those payments in return. So on the books, it equals out equally. But the players made it clear Man United and Chelsea are also interested, and they're offering straight up loans for the season, and we're not. So Ange wants to bring in an option where he can build a squad with players he knows going to be here next season, because he wants to be here next season building this squad. So look, the Spurs, Daniel Levy flew out, tried to negotiate this deal to get it over the line, but if you believe the major reports, he wanted to qualify very quickly whether the player was open to a permanent transfer to Spurs. And the player swiftly said no, they want to fight for their place in Bayern Munich or go to a different club if they did move on. It didn't seem to be an implication that we didn't offer enough money. We met all the demands for the player, but for multiple reasons, Tottenham wasn't for Mathys Tel. So we go on to the next player. This is all linked to Dragoson's injury. Reports are saying that, unfortunately, the knee injury is going to be a long-term one. So Spurs fear they could be without him for a number of months, possibly the whole season. So Spurs have started the pursuit with Tomori from AC Milan. He would make sense for us. He's a good player. He can play out the back. He's not rapid, but he's reasonably quick player, and he's not starting games for Milan, so it seemed to make sense. He's also, got experience at the top level, so he adds that seniority to the team. He plays for a huge club. He knows how to manage crowds and derbies, but the players made it very clear they want to stay in Italy. They want to stay at Milan. They want to play against Inter on the weekend, and they're going to fight for their spot. So again, that deal seems dead for now, although there is some reports now coming out that AC Milan are trying to push the player out the door because they want the funds. So we could see him forced out the door into our arms. But again, there are other clubs interested. So watch the space in that one. It's not completely dead, but it's 80% dead. So let's see how it goes. The next one is Axel Disasi, French centre-back who plays for Chelsea. Now, we don't normally deal with Chelsea, which makes his transfer feel a little bit unlikely, but he would make sense in many ways. He's 26, so he's a good, experienced player, and his profile fits a lot of what we want, right? He can play out the back. He wins a lot of aerial duels, so he adds more defensive stability from those set pieces. He's a decent passer of the ball. He's reasonably progressive in his passing, and he also likes taking on players. And we know Ange likes centre-backs who aren't scared to take on their man and go forward for the ball. So you'd see him bombing forward in the way that Mickey van der Ven does. He's right-footed. It really would make sense, this player, even though he's a Chelsea player. I know some people won't particularly like that. But I think as a club, we need to start dealing with our rivals, because our rivals are trading with each other. And when you rule out dealing with Chelsea, I won't say Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United as two major examples, you miss out on a lot of potential players. So we've had all our terms accepted for the players. He's agreed personal terms of Aston Villa already, though. We've given him a decision to make. It will all unfold over the next 24 hours if he's going to choose Aston Villa or Spurs. But if that comes in, it is a signing to actually be reasonably excited about. I think it would be an upgrade on Dragusin in terms of our backup centre-back anyway. He's a much more natural fit for the system we play. So let's watch that space. Spurs still need a forward player who can play across multiple positions up front. And Tyler Dibling links won't go away. So Leipzig are always also in for him as well. He can play across the whole front three. He's really exciting, but the reservation here is it's another teenager who's not ready right now. Yes, he can add value. He can play some games and support the first team. But given our current situation, we're looking for a couple of senior players now. We're looking for that Dejan Kulusevski and Bentancur style January transfer window now. But as things stand, he's also injured and he's going to be out for at least 3 more weeks if we sign him, so he doesn't help Spurs in the now. And we've got huge games against Manchester City, Man United, Liverpool, Aston Villa in that 3-week period. So it would be disappointing to bring in a player who can't contribute during that difficult period, especially in the cups where you can't afford to lose one of those games if you want to stay in the cup. You're out. So let's see how the week unfolds. It wouldn't be surprising to see an Anton Kinski style announcement. And what I mean by that is no one saw the links coming. No one saw the announcement coming, and it came out of nowhere. So let's try to be positive. Spurs have done great things late. We wish they would be earlier, but they're not. So it is what it is. We're here. Come on, Spurs. Don't let us down at the end of the January transfer window. Is there anyone in the comments, by the way, you would like us to sign? We'll happily do a scout report on that player for you. Come on, you Spurs.